the Sixers present the 1990 Atlantic Division Championship banner. This championship banner will take its place alongside all the other 76ers hanging here at the Spectrum. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the 76ers. At one guard, his fourth season of Duke at 6'2", number 12, Johnny Dawkins. Also in the backcourt, his second season of Bradley at 6'3", number 33, the Hawk, Hersey Hawkins. The center in his 10th season of Duke University, 6'11", number 42, Mike Juminski. At one forward, his 10th season of Hampton Institute at 6'10", number 44, Rick Mahorn. And at the other forward, in his 6th season of Auburn at 6'6", number 34, the captain, Charles Barkley. The 76ers, coached by Jim Lynam. His assistant is Fred Carter. Buzz Brayman's the shooting coach. Player personnel director is Bob Weinauer. The team trainer is Tony Harris. The officials for tonight's game, number 10, Mr. Darrell Garrettson, number 28, Mr. Tommy Nunez, and number 45, Mr. Joe Forte.
Well, if you're going to measure crowd enthusiasm, this might rank as a season high. The building not quite filled, but the folks here are here to whoop it up. And here come the Sixers in their new black shoes. Jack, having a little fun?
Well, shoes are something that you have to be uniform with, Jim. It's part of the uniform, so for one player to wear black shoes, everybody has to wear them. And that's what the Sixers have done.
A couple of guys look like Mike Tyson out there. Sixers on a breakaway to Barkley.
Rick Mahorn jumping rather than Mike Juminski, and he got a tap that the Sixers converted into a quick field goal.
We didn't even have time to set much of anything here. Inside they go to Doherty, and the miss pulled down by Barkley.
Sixers want this running pace. They'd like to get the ball into the offense before Cleveland can really get set up.
Now, among the things to watch will be the physical play inside. That's this time a 3-second violation. Negates things, but Mahorn and Nance were really leveling off on one another.
Rick Mahorn had good position, but Charles couldn't get the ball to him.
Greg Elo, the premier three-point shooter in the NBA.
Well,
or the team, rather, the premier shooting team in the NBA. Steve Kerr on the Cavalier bench, the single premier guy. But this team will pop them from distance, as Mark Zumoff talked about in our open.
40% shooting from threes for Cleveland. It's been a big part of their attack. And this little guy with the ball is one of the best.
This is Winston Bennett now with the ball. Doherty, an exceptional passer for a big guy.
Sixers are really playing aggressive defense, which they must do.
Crazy shot because the 3-second clock was down to 1 second, and Elo hits another three.
That's a Hail Mary shot. That's off the glass.
Off of 1 foot, 1 hand in the glass. So it's 6-2. Juminski short with it. Larry Nance, the rebound.
Mike Juminski is going to get some open jumpers. He's got to bury those from 15, 17 feet. He's playing Brad Doherty very physically.
And Doherty with the turnaround. This is the first time in 4 meetings that we have seen this 5 Cleveland Cavaliers intact. They've had one injury after another. All that's behind them.
It's a good basketball team, Jim.
And they're exactly right. Coming on strong at the right time. Nance puts up the jumper, and the Cavaliers doing what they wanted to do on the road, get off to a good start. They're leading 10-2.
Jim Lynam calling his offensive play. He wants to get some action on the baseline. Hersey Hawkins using either screener to open himself up for a shot.
To the basket. And the shot.
Hersey chose to come off Rick Mahorn that time. Got himself enough daylight. Look at this little guy go.
Great penetration and a lucky bounce. The putback is no good. Jaminski. Hawkins draws the foul. Nance holding the ball out, saying, I got all ball, but if we look at the replay, you'll see plenty of body contact.
Oh, yeah. Larry Nance hit Hawkins quite well as he was going to the basket. See, Hersey making a good pump effort. Nance coming over, raking him across the arms, coming off with the ball, but he doesn't fool Darryl Garrettson.
10-4. Hersey Hawkins with a terrific run of free throw shooting in the last quarter of the season.
I think we've seen evidence that the Sixers want to push the ball. Twice they've gotten down the floor. Barkley for a stuffer, and Hersey Hawkins getting fouled going to the basket. It's a play by Jaminski.
Mahorn's going to take the jumper. Price, the rebound, will run whenever he can, but he's also very wise to pick his spots. Again, hustling back and preventing a layup once more, Jaminski.
All those extra effort plays are so important in playoff competition. The team that makes the most extra effort plays generally wins these games.
Price is fouled. The Sixers scrambling now into Cleveland territory. Jaminski determined to get that up. That's wild.
Mike didn't appear to have much daylight, but he forced a good-looking shot from tough competition.
Charles will sag off with Bennett.
Bennett's the only guy that they're giving any room to.
Doherty got good position, worked for it, and when he got where he wanted, he flipped up to turn around again. 4 points for Brad Doherty.
Brad Doherty has really slimmed down, and it's made a much more effective player. He's much quicker with his footwork.
The Cavs 12 and the Sixers 8.
There's a bad switch. Hersey Hawkins has a chance to go by Doherty.
Too strong. Nance looks for Price. Behind to Elo, and Barkley the rebound.
Good transition defense by the Sixers. Forced an errant pass by Nance. Sixers come off with the ball.
6:53 left to play in the opening quarter. Three-point attempt. Yes!
Greg Elo backed off Hersey, just enough for Hersey to sight up his three, and he buried it. I don't think Lenny Wilkins wants Elo to give Hersey that much room.
Again, a block, but Darryl Garrettson spots a foul. Winston Bennett, Jack, a lot more improved player than when I first saw him this year as he's trying to break into this group. Here is a miss by Jaminski. Looks very confident out there.
Sixers need that offensive board. They can hurt Cleveland at the offensive board if they crash it consistently.
Doherty with the drop step and another Jaminski block.
Mike Jaminski, nice defense. Oh!
Hawkins not ready for that pass. It would have been a terrific one.
A little hard and a short distance for Charles to lay that ball off.
Mike Jaminski with 4 blocked shots already. 16-15 Sixers.
See, Johnny Dawkins going over the top of that screen now. They're not giving the three-point shooters a chance. And they've done a very good job on this little guy up to this point.
Price looking for room, and now the dish. John Williams on a nifty pass by Mark Price.
You've got to keep Price out of the middle. That's Jim Lynam's objective. Don't let that little guy get to the middle. But he's very clever.
Hersey Hawkins shot. Jaminski, though, following it up. Good defensive work by John Williams. Stolen back. Mike again. Blocked again. a whistle.
John Williams is one of the better shot blockers in the league. Watch these two efforts by John Williams. There's the pass to Barkley. That looks right on the ball. John objects to the call, and I don't blame him.
Barkley to the bench. Ron Anderson with some playing time. 3:39 left to go in the first quarter. Free throw here ties the game. 17-all.
Game being played at Cleveland's pace up to this point. 17 point at this stage, maybe up to 25 by the end of the period. That's Cleveland's pace. They usually give up 102 and usually score 102.
How come they don't tie every game? Bad pass here. 3:27 now in the quarter. Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny's done a great job with this team. And certainly Jim Lanham as well. Hersey Hawkins trying to get off on that baseline screen. He's a little quicker than Craig Elo. If he can get some driving room, he'll burn him.
Sixers very close that time. Hawkins makes the shot. Sixers very close to violating the spacing on the floor. They had 4 people clearing out on one side of the court. Can't do that. John Williams picks up the loose ball.
Mark Price is getting into the defense, hasn't made the scoring passes as yet. Notice how Elo is playing up on Hersey Hawkins now.
There's the double. And the swing of the ball. Foul called.
3 seconds.
Oh, a 3-second violation. Okay, that's... Ron Anderson had a chance, but the ball took a big bounce off the rim. Very evenly fought first quarter. Not much being decided here. Doherty too short. Another rebound, Anderson.
Perfect defense by the Sixers that time. They got the ball out of Price's hand. They rotated over to cut off Doherty and cut the rebound on a weak shot.
Dawkins will try for the last shot with 7 seconds now to go. Little shake and bake. And a whistle before the red light. So the hustle of Barkley will allow the Sixers a free throw opportunity.
Watch John Dawkins. He gets by Price, which John has the speed to do. Shot rolls off. Charles doesn't have good possession, but look at him go to work. He's unbelievable down there.
7 rebounds in the quarter.
Free throws. Free throws will be a key issue in this game, and in really all playoff games.
8 points, 7 rebounds for Charles Barkley. 11 points in the quarter for Hersey Hawkins. And when we come back, the Sixers will be leading by 1.
Sixers playing with a small pair of guards now, Scott Brooks and Johnny Dawkins.
Same can be said of the Cavaliers with Kerr and Price. Dish back to Barkley.
Nice penetration by Ron Anderson to set up Charles for the layoff. Cleveland will come after the driver. They like to block shots. So if you can draw the offside defender and get him up in the air, somebody's going to be open.
Price again. That's play worked before and it works again. Williams finds his spot and Price just delivers it to him.
John Williams can shoot that short shot and he can put it on the floor to his right. But the key to stopping all that is not to let Mark Price penetrate.
Sixers leading by 1. Anderson, and he is bumped on the way to the basket. (26-23) 76ers. Ron Anderson trying to pass the ball, I think. Loses it.
Yeah, Ron got up in the air. That old bugaboo, this three-point shooter.
The best in the league. Follow up and a miss. Elo gets the offensive rebound and puts it back up. I don't know if
Cleveland giving a little token trap, but not many teeth in that.
9:50 left in the first half. A 1.76er lead. Ron Anderson, yes.
He turned Craig Elo inside out that time. Craig fell down trying to get over that baseline screen. Ron dressed up a nice jumper.
Brooks now is assigned to Mark Price, and there he goes, looking, finds Nance. Price seems of the mind to feed the ball off so far in this game.
Well, he's drawing big guys and giving off pretty good shooting opportunities to his teammates. That's his job.
He has only taken 2 field goal attempts, but he's done a great job getting it to the right folks. Anderson again. Rebound, Nance had it, but now it's into the hands of Steve Kerr. Gets him and the ball, and down goes Elo. A tough guy, though. That's the way he likes to play the game, so he'll not react to anything
again
dished to him.
Craig Elo getting driving room. Jim Lynam does not want the ball in the middle.
Of Washington State. This is his first free throw, and if he makes this, we're tied once again. .45 now, remaining here in the first half. We'll keep you posted throughout the night on the other scores from around the league. Down at the corner malt shop. 5 points now for Anderson.
Had a tough personal tragedy in his life, Jim.
Yes, he did.
His father was killed overseas.
Lebanon.
Was president of the American University over there.
That's Steve Kerr, and he's become very active in the pursuit of hostages there. The dishes to Williams. Nice pass work by the Cavaliers, and just roaming the baseline looking for garbage is John Williams, and he gets a fair amount. 8 points now for him.
But you named it, Jim. They passed the ball very well against the Sixers' trap.
Johnny Dawkins from the outside, and another Elo rebound.
Watch Elo, he can go the distance.
Very surprising player. Here is Kerr, the miss. Anderson, the rebound. Craig Elo at 6'7" is another Sixer miss. Barkley can't get it. There he is, Elo, the leading rebounder for the Cavaliers so far in the game.
Sixers need to get the ball inside more. They've got to get to Charles Barkley inside and let Charles go at it.
Larry Nance off balance.
Gets the roll.
32-30. Cavaliers go in the first half. This is Dawkins guarded by Price.
I'm okay, Steve.
They're playing Mike Jaminski straight up.
Little hook shot over Nance. Barkley has to go in amongst those blue shirts and come away with the rebound. There's that outside jumper, though, that we're not looking to see. Again, the ball knocked out of bounds, and what's the call?
I think Sixers on the sideline.
2 Cavaliers there, and they get in each other's way. So another chance and a new 24 seconds for the Sixers. Anderson squared up nicely and ties the game.
Good penetration by Dawkins to cause the open shot for Ron Anderson. He buries it.
John Williams looks for the backdoor cutter. Bennett had to make a great catch and still able to right himself for the basket.
Sixers not communicating on that back pick. Winston Bennett got open under the basket. Got the pass, not a perfect pass, but he scored with it.
6:22 left to go. Sixers now continuing to shoot from the outside and not with the greatest success. Price.
Oh boy.
Outrunning the pack, his second field goal of the game. Now a 4-point Cavalier lead. Cavaliers led 10-2 at the outset.
It's not a team that you want to play catch up against, Jim. They're very good with their pace of the game.
Blocked. Saved by Barkley. Pumps once and twice and gets the shot. 12 points for Barkley. Barkley ran out of room. Tried to hand it off, couldn't find anybody.
Charles has got to get back on defense. Somebody's open. Winston Bennett. Winston Bennett calling for the ball but didn't get it.
Price, there's the open man. It's Kerr.
See how many opportunities for Cleveland has resulted from Mark Price's penetration, Jim? I would say maybe 10 field goals so far in the game.
A 20-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here.
Up front. They got Doherty, Nance, and John Williams. And John Williams will defend Barkley.
Hawkins and Mahorn set up for a two-man game. Rick Mahorn takes it right to the basket. His first field goal of the game. It comes with 3 minutes left to go in the half.
But it's inside, Jim. I think they need to do it more.
Nance swings open on the corner.
Whoa!
That was John Williams.
John Williams, way above the rim.
The hot rod. The ball ends up in midcourt. Such was the powerful slam by Williams.
The Sixers must pay attention to their blockout responsibilities. That's twice now Cleveland has gotten good opportunities on second shots because the player wasn't blocked out.
Hawkins again, halfway to the basket, puts it up, and a foul.
Watch Charles Barkley and John Williams. Charles doesn't even look at him. John Williams comes right down the lane, gets the rebound, and slams it home. Blocking out is key in this game. Cleveland can hammer that offensive board well if they're given open lanes like that, and they've gotten a couple of them already tonight.
.234 left to go, first half.
And look at this score, Jim, 42-38. Again, pace of the game, so important to the Sixers, and right now Cleveland is setting it. Cleveland is setting its pace. They're a tough team to defend because they have quickness at the guard position in Mark Price, and they have big guys who can score at the basket, and Sixers are going to give them a little token trap and then match up.
13 points now for Hersey Hawkins. A 2-point Cavalier lead.
Mark Price working on the baseline. Oh, nice pass.
Doherty there, and the ever-present arms of Mike Jaminski, another block.
Mike has done a very nice job defending Doherty up to this point.
5 blocked shots.
The guy that's hurt him is Mark Price.
Leaning is Mahorn. Trying to make the save. Kerr, but he didn't do it.
He's in the NBA.
Putting it up and getting it on the inbounds. Rick Mahorn. Tied now at 42. Price again finds Doherty. Well, John Stockton has the reputation of being the best assist man. And I tell you, Mark Price is showing me something.
John Stockton is excellent, but I don't know that he's any better than Mark Price.
Yeah. Hersey Hawkins for 3, gets it.
Good rotation of the ball by Sixers. John Dawkins had a shot, elected to give it up to Hersey in three-point land. Hersey buried it. Again, Jaminski forcing the ball away from Brad Doherty.
Going at it. Fireworks are close to exploding between those two guys. The leaner up and just off the rim.
Good opportunity by John Dawkins. Shot just didn't fall for him, but he got where he wanted. Mike Jaminski doing a great job in fronting the big guy, but there again is Price.
Another assist. 8 points. Nance gets the basket, his 8th. 8 points, I should say. It's 46-45. 19 seconds on the shot clock, 25 left in the quarter, or in the first half. Mahorn and Nance. Down goes somebody.
Rick has to be careful. He can't afford. Yes.
There's the technical foul.
Can't afford it. He cannot afford this, and he can't afford a second one, certainly.
Things were heating up between Mahorn and Nance, and then while still in a boil, Mahorn shoved, I believe it was Kerr that went flying to the deck. And that was not going to be a technical until Rick kind of persisted, and then there was Darryl Garrettson who stepped in and made the tee.
Well, Darryl will take charge of the game, and he will quickly take charge, as he did just then.
This was a 20-second timeout by the Cavaliers that has gotten away from the 20 seconds. Both teams confused now as to what to do.
And Mark Price, an 88% shooter at the line. Excellent pressure player.
Well, now that the 20-second clock, or 20-second timeout has been settled, they allow Price to shoot the free throw. Now it's a 2-point Cavalier lead. Elsewhere tonight.
But it's been a long time since they've won regular season as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Hubie Brown was the coach the last time the team won in Boston.
Mark Price again. Now a 4-point Cavalier lead. 2 seconds. Elo nearly makes another one of those. The Cavaliers will go off at halftime, leading the Philadelphia 76ers 49-45. Stay with us. We've got lots more activity for you at halftime. Jack and I back as well in a moment. Maybe the best.
John Dawkins has to score some points. And not a lot.
Off of the hand of Winston Bennett.
But John hasn't scratched yet tonight. He's 0 for 4 from the field. He needs to have some point production.
Would this be John's first playoff game? I believe it is.
Yeah, very possibly.
And another whistle.
I think John had one playoff experience with San Antonio, Jim.
Barkley cleans up the miss.
The ever-present Charles Barkley.
16 points for Barkley. A 2-point Cavalier lead.
But Dawkins got into the defense. I think he has to look to do that more often. He can drive by Mark Price.
Early timeout called by Lenny Wilkins.
Shot, but here comes the ever-present Charles Barkley to scoop up the miss and lay it in the hole. Good penetration, though, by John, and I think, as I said before, he should look for it more often.
You were right on, Jack. 2 seasons ago with San Antonio, he appeared in 3 games with the Spurs. They were eliminated in their first round. Couple of scores. Not much of a surprise there.
Wow.
And an interesting turnaround by the Knicks to get that one tied.
Well, let's see what the Sixers can do here, being 2 down with a team that likes to play a controlled offensive game and an illegal defense called.
1 each now for the 2 teams. Rick Mahorn, they're going to...
Rick Mahorn, the culprit, he was in the lane. Just had 1 foot in the lane, but that's enough. Good call by Tommy Nunes, who, as I mentioned on a previous game that he did, he's a rule book guy. Knows the rules as well as anybody.
They cleared for Dart. He gave him a lot of space in there, and he used it well. Now a delay of the game warning set out here for Cavaliers. You can see that one coming. They spread out. Lenny Wilkins.
Mike Jaminski has had good success keeping Doherty out of the middle, but Brad just bulled his way in there and got his little hook shot.
The lob now to Jaminski. Barkley positioning himself for the rebound, and there's the shot. There's the rebound, and up and in.
Charles is something, I'll tell you. That offensive board Watch this. Mike Jaminski shoots his patented jump hook, and here comes Charles. It seems like it doesn't matter what Winston Bennett does. He just can't keep Charles off the board. And he's not alone in that regard.
"19 points for Barkley. There's Hot Rod back in the game. So they got a big front line again with Here's Price on the run. 11 points for him. A big front line now of Nance, Williams, and Brad Daugherty. Hersey Hawkins comes right back.
Good transition offense by the Sixers, and they need more of that. But they've got to shut this guy down. There he goes again.
Daugherty on the end of the Price feed. 57-54. We've got a up-tempo racehorse game outbreak all of a sudden.
And this isn't what Lenny Wilkins wants. He'll take advantage of quick opportunities down the floor. We've already seen them do that. But he doesn't want a rat race game. He doesn't want an up and down game. There goes great penetration by Price. Easy layoff to Daugherty for the score.
Notice how his eye contact freezes the defense. You never know which way he's going to go with that ball. 20 points for Charles Barkley. 13 rebounds already.
Sixers must take control of this game at the defense principally.
"57-56. Cleveland by 1.
Hersey Hawkins up giving Elo some extra pressure, but Brad takes it by him.
Jaminski the block. Way down the floor. Hawkins jumping and now
Great
feeding
pass.
Barkley.
Great pass by Hersey Hawkins.
"58-57 Sixers.
Lenny Wilkins calling a play to see if he can get the Cavalier attack untracked.
Price and Brooks.
There's the double that they want.
They didn't want the foul, though.
It's called for the foul, but that's the plan.
Third quarter action. Cavaliers by 2. Nance and Mahorn.
So once the ball goes inside, Larry Nance backs off a little bit.
And an illegal defense. Rick holding the ball for that exact purpose. This now a technical foul, so the Sixers, Hersey Hawkins will shoot one.
Rick Mahorn feels very confident against Larry Nance. Larry is playing behind him so that Rick can get the ball pretty much where he wants it.
3 for Charles, 21 for Hersey Hawkins. He's hit 7 out of 7 from the free throw line. He takes it inside for 2 more.
Nice drive by Hersey. Took it right through the heart of the defense. Past the shot blockers.
They've got the fans right smack in the middle of it now.
But watch this guy.
Perfect. Steve Kerr. Sixers by 1.
That's what makes Cleveland tough, Jim. They can go at you so many ways.
Charles on the hang. Could not stay in the air long enough.
Somebody's open.
Price runs off the defense and puts the Cavaliers on top by 1. Jimmy Lynam wants a time. How about that? 4:37 to go in the third quarter. We've got that timeout.
Great drive by Anderson.
One of the things the Sixers need to do now is get some points from the rest of the folks in the lineup. 50 points so far for Hawkins and Barkley. 50 of the now 71. Williams. John Williams is just there all the time.
Yeah, he has. We talked about not letting him drive right. He's only had to drive right once, but everything else has been kind of standstill jump shots or balls that bounce to him or get passed to him right in the basket area like that last one.
Williams guarding Barkley now.
Straight up for Charles. He ought to take him.
They double Hawk. He fades anyway. The tip is up by Mahorn and wouldn't go for him.
That's a big one. They need all those.
Bounce pass.
Great pass. And
Blocked.
blocked.
And a foul.
Oh,
It's not going to be a popular one for the Sixers partisans. It looked sensational, but
let's
see
take a
if
look.
it's contact.
That's a great pass. Can't really tell. There was some physical contact. Looked like Charles had the ball, but he may have bumped Brad as he went to the basket. Cleveland does very smart things with the basketball. Very seldom forces an offensive play. Consequently, they get people open for some very easy shots.
74-71.
Two-man play for John Dawkins.
Hersey Hawkins beating 2 and 3 defenders now. And getting good shots after all that work. Elo commits the foul. Now with a 2-point lead. Third quarter, 3:25 to play.
And Cleveland in the penalty from now till the end of the period. Sixers should take advantage of it if they can.
25 points for Hawkins now.
Take advantage of that by driving it to the basket and getting to your post people.
Thanks to Hawkins, the Sixers are 20 out of 23 as a team from the free throw line, and Price is fouled. Dawkins commits the foul. It's number 2. So that'll put Price on the line as the Sixers now go over the limit.
Controlling the tempo of his team's offensive game.
I would think if you are a point guard, you can't have a better coach than Wilkins.
A very patient guy is Andy Wilkins.
Johnny Dawkins, his first basket of the game.
Johnny needed that. Now maybe he can get his whole offensive game going.
He was 0 for 7. And he breaks it with a driving layup.
Another two-man play.
Price dishing back, and Williams fights for the rebound. It's blocked in there.
Great effort by Barkley.
There is the Hawk.
Whoa!
You don't see him dunk one very often.
That all started at the defensive end, Jim.
These are the playoffs, folks. So Hersey says, watch this. He's got 27 points. The man who was haunted by the playoffs during the entire offseason.
Rick Mahorn against Doherty. That's a good matchup.
Won't let him go inside. He takes it baseline and draws the foul there.
Who's the foul on? Or Mahorn. A lot of contact. Rick's trying to keep Brad Doherty from getting in the lane. Makes Brad spin back, but makes some contact as Doherty goes up for his shot. Not a great free throw shooter, Brad Doherty. Let's see what he does. He's perfect there.
17 points for him. He played in only one game against the Sixers in their 4 regular season meetings. Cavaliers won that one.
2 good ones.
78-77 Cleveland. 2:17 left to go. Third quarter.
Sixers have a hard time opening up any distance against this team.
It's on the floor. The
great pass by Ron Anderson.
That was reminiscent of the old Jack Ramsey handoff play, except he threw the short bounce pass.
Distance shot, but Cleveland collected the offensive board.
Ever since the Cavs took a 10-2 lead, the game settled back. It's been Mahorn. It's been a 2 3-point game since about 2 minutes into the action.
We're going to Doherty again.
Forcing him baseline, which is that the way to do it? He doesn't seem as effective that way.
You got to keep him out of the lane, number one. He has a decent shot spinning back, but it's not as effective as what he gets in the lane.
Rebounds for Barkley now are up at 16.
Hersey Hawkins coming off a double screen.
Ran into double traffic too. Spins, works, finishes, no. Barkley though, blocked by Williams. Stolen by Williams. Price, the distance, and what a shot. Wow. Great plays, end to end. That's what I guess why we're here.
Yeah, you're getting the best of basketball when you get to the playoffs, Jim.
And this is
playing.
This is no 7-seeded team either.
No, sir.
I'm talking about the Cavaliers.
But that's what the playoffs should be. John Dawkins trying to beat Price and does.
A whistle.
Championship. And all the rounds after this one are 7 games. You get so familiar with the other team, you know their plays as well as they do. Big free throws by John Dawkins.
83-82. Sixers by 1. Final seconds of the third quarter.
Another
6 seconds.
Play.
Clock. 5 seconds. There's going to be time. Broken up by Mahorn, but there are 0.6 of a second left in the quarter, so
you got to watch this.
Cavaliers will have a chance for a Hail Mary.
Cavaliers have a chance for a 3-point shot, and they'll try and free either Kerr or Mark Price open.
They're going to front Mahorn and Darty. They're just shoving one another around until now doubling up is Ron Anderson. The ball goes way outside, and a touch shot, if you will. By that I mean, as soon as it hit the fingers of Price, he let it go. The Sixers rally here in the third quarter. Charles Barkley now with 31 points. And rebounds are up to 16, and the Sixers lead by 3.
Backs the ball. John Dawkins picks it up, feeds Barkley, who goes for the slammer. But they need to have an answer for Mark Price like that. And you can't do the same thing all the time, but you got to keep that little guy under control. It's a tough job. He's a smart player with great skills and a fierce competitor.
This has been, as I mentioned early, a live crowd, and they're getting with it now. Let's take a look what else is happening here. Detroit have been solidly ahead of the Pistons throughout that game. Last we saw, this was a tie game. It's now a 2-point New York lead. 12 more minutes of what has been terrific basketball.
It's a key stretch of time right here.
Great thing about this game, the players that you thought would do it are doing it. Both sides. Kicked ball.
Kisses it out. Try and get position again. Get it right back and go to work on his man with single coverage.
85-82.
Hersey, one-on-one.
Floats. One in.
That's a great drive by Hersey Hawkins, but he came down hard on his ankle.
He came down on somebody else's foot, trying to stamp it out. A little bit tender right now. He's working inside the Williams of the Cavaliers, and John Williams might have to put him in my most improved category.
John's a player. John's a player.
Sixers still by 3.
And again going to Hersey one-on-one against Steve Kerr.
He takes it outside. Deep rebound, saved by Dawkins. Takes it inside. Stolen by Price. He was trying to pass to Mike Jaminski.
Oh, great.
Through the legs of Ron Anderson, but no go. What a pass that was.
Winston Bennett protesting to Darryl Garretson, then he got hit on that drive. Here goes Charles.
Dawkins, yes! Johnny Dawkins, 6 points.
John needs those drives. That'll open up his outside shooting too. Give him a little more confidence. Here they're forcing Price baseline. There's the rotation. Good job by the Sixers this time.
Defense was there, so Williams has to shoot from a little bit outside his range.
That's the way Jim Lyman wants it done all the time.
The dish. 2 more for Hersey Hawkins, but give credit to Ron Anderson, and now they've got the Cavs' attention.
And Lenny Wilkins wants a timeout. Keep this game under control.
76ers with their biggest lead, Jack, at 91-84, and the head bumping is going on, which indicates Mr. Barkley and Mr. O'Horn are ready.
Well, the defense has been more aggressive. Nice penetration by Ron Anderson to give off to Hersey Hawkins at the basket. Came down hard on his ankle, but has run that off, and now he's ready to go again. That's the most significant burst that the Sixers have put together in this game.
9:59 to play.
Now the matchup, Charles Barkley against John Williams. John Williams got a couple of offensive boards over Charles in the first half. Charles can't give it to him again.
Pressure, if you want to use that word, on the Cavaliers now to turn this thing around. Bad pass, stolen. Barkley, the move, and a foul. And the joint's jumping.
Give Hersey Hawkins credit for starting that play at the defensive end. He deflected that pass, so the Sixers were able to get a run going. Charles finishing it with a flourish over Elo. I can't believe that Craig Elo thought he could block that shot. He probably thought he could take Charles out of the play. It's hard to get Charles out of the play once he starts to the hoop.
Not if you care about your life. 93-84.
Now Mark Price is not in the lineup now.
Sixers again, finally get the steal once more. And the ball bouncing between two players there. The Sixers a little bit revved up now.
These are big plays. These are big plays. That's a 4-point turnaround.
9 minutes left to go. Sixers by 7.
Instead of 11, you've got 7. That's a big gap in a game like this. Hersey again.
Bumped, shut, the shot won't go. But another foul, and if you've been with us all the way, you know that Hersey has been perfect from the free throw line. Expect that throughout the rest of this playoff season. 7, maybe 8 players. Rare instances more. There would be special circumstances would have to come up, fouls or injuries, for you to get much past there. Hawkins now 11 out of 11, 33 in the game with, 8:48 to go. This is Larry Nance. Again.
Good defense by the Sixers.
Elo. Big time battle for the rebound, and it's kicked out of bounds. Bodies flying, arms pointing in all directions. And the Cavs are going to keep it.
Elo with the shot. Watch this rebound. I couldn't see who hit the ball. But Carroll
95-87, 76ers.
Ron Anderson coming off a series of screens on the baseline.
Puts it on the floor, beats his first man, but the cover-up defense.
Block shot.
Creates a turnover. Mike Jaminski again.
Mike Jaminski doing a terrific job.
Doherty is frustrated. Doherty's gone to the bench with a look on his face like, this guy won't let me get the ball. 7:44 left to go in the game. There you see the numbers. We'll be back right after this.
At the defensive board.
Jaminski, Barkley, and Anderson comprise the Sixer front court. Scott Brooks and Hersey Hawkins.
It gives Ron a chance to put it on the floor past those big guys.
Scott Brooks. Anderson has to shoot under the duress of the clock, and it's picked away by Williams again.
Here comes Rick.
Williams on the floor, goes right as you say, and scores. 21 points for John Williams.
The Sixers tried to double. The ball goes out. Now Ron Anderson runs past John Williams, and going to his right, John Williams is nearly perfect.
And the Cavaliers now in the process of tightening the bolts. They were down by 9. And they are now down by 4 after that miss. Here's Hawkins.
Cleveland has crept back into the game without Mark Price.
Kerr and Craig Elo working in the backcourt. Nance, the open shooter.
All that on pass work. Jim Lynam wants another timeout.
8 straight Cleveland points. It's 95-93. And the Cavs fight back. A Sixer timeout with 6:13 to go. Johnny with the open jumper. Rick Mahorn keeps it alive.
All these possessions are critical for the Sixers. Again, clear out for Hersey.
Spin move. Spins into trouble. Plenty of time on the clock. Now it's time to go to work. The first move is good. The follow-up is good. The follow-up is blocked, and then a foul. The persistence of Charles Barkley getting the best out of that possession.
I don't know anybody in basketball who can follow his own shot like Charles does. He slips, recovers, powers it in with his right hand coming under the basket. Now he's up there tipping at that ball until he gets fouled and gets to the line for 2 shots.
Around here, you would have to think back to the prime of Moses Malone to find somebody who could keep it alive as often and then finally connect with the shot.
Free throws, very, very critical. Charles gets 1 for 2.
96-93. Price is back in the game, along with Brad Daugherty, John Williams, Larry Nance, and with the ball, Craig Elo. Nance. That was a surprise.
He can shoot that. He can shoot it from 17 facing the basket.
96-95.
Because of his injury, you want to play Larry Nance very tight and make him put it on the floor. He's not as good as he once was.
Hook shot. Rebound Nance. Cavs now with a opportunity here to regain the lead.
They're going to isolate Daugherty at the post.
There's the ball. Daugherty is able to get room, blocked from behind. We've got a whistle. Kaminsky commits the foul.
Daugherty made a nice spin move past Mike on the baseline side, got far enough ahead of him so that Mike had to swat at the ball from behind. Now he's blocked some of those shots, but this time he caught Daugherty on the arm.
Cavs could have very easily folded when they fell behind by 9 early in this quarter.
Now, this is a poised basketball team.
We're deadlocked at 96.
Jim Lynam's going to work with Hersey Hawkins and Charles Barkley.
Kicked by Daugherty.
Playing.
Here's Hawkins. Beats his man. Floats up and has it blocked. The dunk is missed. Tried again. This dunk is good. And here is the foul call against John Williams, I do believe. You won't see Mike Kaminsky dunk the ball very often.
That's a big play. Charles Barkley had an open shot, but saw Mike underneath, gives him the ball. Mike powers it right through. I think he surprised the Cleveland defenders. Because you're right, Jim, he doesn't dunk many.
Only 5 points in the game for Mike, but don't rate his performance on that number. 6 now.
Now here's the little guy they've got to take care of. Sixers if they're going to win this game.
99-96.
Two-man play.
There's a steal by Hawkins. Big play. Nance the other way. Floats and fires and gets it. The veteran in Larry Nance coming to the fore. He wants the ball, and he's not afraid to put it up in crunch time. Now Jaminski firing from the corner.
Nice penetration by Dawkins to set up Jaminski for the jumper. Mike buries it.
Cavaliers had a 10-1 run going. The Sixers have responded, and now it's a Cleveland timeout. 3:21 left to go in the game.
Penetration to give off to Jaminski at the edges, and Mike buries the jumper. So two key plays for the Sixers to open up a 5-point advantage for them, and Cleveland with the ball after a Lenny Wilkens timeout.
Dawkins, Hawkins, Barkley, Jaminski, and Rick Mahorn.
This game has been played with fierce intensity by both teams.
Price, Elo, Nance, Doherty, and John Williams to inbound. The best against the best on each team on the floor right here for the final 3:20. Price loops one in.
Wow. He's amazing, that guy.
3:10 left to go. More to come on Sunday night. Jim Barniak and Jack Ramsey here at 7:30. Johnny Dawkins, yes!
John shot that with fine confidence. Mike Jaminski's got to get back. Somebody's open down there.
Dawkins held scoreless the entire first half, now has 10 points.
Rick Mahorn against Larry Nance. Good matchup.
Inside, broken up by Barkley. Charles trying to beat one man and finally dishes off. 107-100. 2:20 now to play. Again, defense doing it.
Cleveland's not out of this yet, Jim.
Williams floats one up, followed up by Elo. Williams drew so much attention that when the ball bounced free, there was no Sixers there, and Elo an easy layup.
A team that shoots three-point shots as well as Cleveland is almost never out of the game, and 5 points is nothing.
Again, the best three-point shooting group in the league. Kerr, Price, Elo, the chief three-point shooters. Hawkins. I don't know if Hersey is having trouble making that step. I don't know if he's being bothered now by that ankle that when he came down on one of the Cavaliers' shoes. Hersey Hawkins has picked this game for his season high.
Sixers using a little clock now to get Hersey open. But Charles has it instead. They want to drive him. Charles wants to take it. There he goes.
Behind the back. Cavs didn't go for the head fakes. Oh, brother.
Cleveland stopped everything that Charles did except that fadeaway.
36 points for Barkley. 35 points for Hawkins.
And 2 more for John Williams. Gee.
Two teams won't let you take a deep breath. 109-104.
Both these teams are tired, and Charles Barkley and Hersey are near exhaustion out there, but they've got to go for the final minute. Under 50 now.
Again, Mike Jaminski right there for a easy layup. Here's a breakaway now for Elo, and Barkley pings it against the glass, and it's going to be called a jump ball. Elo went down hard. I hope he is not injured and is no, he appears like he hurt himself. I thought he might be just trying to grab a little extra rest here. Barkley high in the air. I've never seen that. I've never seen a ball pinned into that little area between the rim and the glass on a defensive play. I've seen shots go up and it sticks in there.
Yeah, that's a rare event. Give Charles huge credit for chasing that ball down. But Craig Elo is hurt. He's not the kind of a guy who would lie on the floor just to gain minutes.
This is just a tremendous effort by Barkley to prevent an easy layup.
And Jim, the pass by Mark Price to get to Elo in that open court play. He makes every pass as pure and simple as it can be made. That bounce pass to Elo was a great one.
He is a tough guy, Craig Elo. You're going to have to get a hook to get him out of this game.
Well, we have a jump ball at midcourt when the ball is wedged like that.
Sixers trying to decide who to send in there to go up with the jump. Now they started the game with Rick Mahorn. Now they go to Barkley. Barkley and Nance. Nance in his prime was about as good as there was. Sixers control it with 40 seconds to play and a 5-point lead.
Big possession. Big possession. Charles Barkley got that tap from Larry Nance.
Here's the double team. Cavs have to... Well, the Cavs are in deep trouble now. No. Charles goes flying off the floor. He landed
shot time.
Price, stolen by Dawkins. Goodbye.
Johnny Dawkins, very alert defensive play.
You can put a tag on game number 1. Five seconds to play. Token layup. That'll do it. Your final score of the 76ers, 111. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 106. On 2 monster performances. Charles Barkley with 38, Hersey Hawkins with 35, and for good measure, give Charles 21 rebounds.
And I think we can expect every game to be played at this intensity. Cleveland will come back and play another tough one on Sunday, and the Sixers will go out there for more of the same.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, we're going to see Hersey drive it hard to the hoop and smash one down there. And his whole game, Jim, was electric tonight. He showed great confidence driving to the basket, hitting the perimeter shot, and some key defensive deflections,
now
which helped the Sixers turn the tide.
Both coaches go back to the drawing board and figure out ways to come back Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. And Sixers certainly can't feel that they have a patsy in this team. They know they're going to have a tough opponent for the rest of this series.
Well, in the spotlight, down courtside with Mark Zumoff is our player of the game, Hersey Hawkins. Let's go right to him.
We have a nice assemblage of fans here. They're really into it. They've caught the playoff fever. Nice game. How do you feel?
Tired. I think not having Derek in the lineup forced me to play a lot more minutes, but I feel good. You know, I was looking forward to coming out, putting up a good performance, and that's exactly what happened.
Were you surprised that Johnny Dawkins played the 2 for a period of time, or did you expect that? Did you know that was part of the game plan?
Well, I think once I got in foul trouble, we were sort of caught with a situation that we haven't been in all season long, and you know, I guess putting Johnny in when they had Elo and Price in, or Kerr and Price, it really doesn't matter. Johnny, he can play the 2 guard also.
I'm only going to bring up last year once because you buried it tonight. But you were 3 for 24 for the playoffs. You only scored 8 points the entire playoff. You had 11 in the first quarter, and you had 35 points for the evening.
Well, I feel good. I wanted to come out and prove that last year was a fluke, that I'm a better player than that, and you know, I didn't even think about it. I approached tonight's game just like it was a regular season game. I did the same things, and you know, a good performance came out of it.
The team seemed to be bothered by the slow tempo early. You only had 45 at halftime. You scored 40 in the third quarter. How were you able to up-tempo things?
I think Jim just said it during halftime, just to get the ball out and run it. Not try to run too many set plays, put some pressure on them, and that's what we did the third quarter. I think we're an excellent third quarter team, and I think we showed that tonight also.
I don't think Cleveland had more than a couple of three-pointers. Everyone talking about Price and Elo and Kerr and the three-point shooting. I think Elo had the only 2 three-pointers, and one came on a wild runner with the 24-second clock running down. How did you hold him from three-point territory?
I think basically, Rick and Mike did a great job by guarding them inside, not really making us double team them, and you know, we were able to stay with our man. And you know, if they start hitting the 3-pointers, you know, you're in trouble. So we guarded them well tonight. I think all the big guys deserve all the credit tonight.
Your comments on Johnny Dawkins and Mike Gminski, because Gminski had 3 at halftime, Dawkins didn't have any. Both contributed offensively in the second half, and Gminski had 7 blocks for the game.
I think it was they had some crucial shots down at the end, Mike and Johnny, and that's what we need. We need everybody contributing, doing their part, and when you're not shooting it well, to hit 2 big shots at the end, I think it shows something about your character. And those guys, they stuck them when we needed them.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Mark.
Hersey Hawkins, who was not the Sixers' leading scorer. By the way, Cleveland had 4 players who had over 20 points. We'll show you the highlights. We'll have the leading scorers for you and more. Once again, Game 1 goes to the Sixers as they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers here on Prism by a score of 111 to 106.